Hey everybody! In this video, I'm going to show you a really quick way to make a simple 8-page book. Whether you are making it to create a little sketchbook or a little instructional or maybe even just like a tiny zine, this is a really quick and easy way to do it with one piece of paper. So all we need to do is just start with your regular, actually any kind of paper really. In this case, I'm just using a piece of printer paper. And I'm going to fold it in half, and we talk elementary style. We're folding it hot dog style, like a hot dog bun. Then we are going to fold it in half the other direction, aka hamburger style. Those are always helpful terms, aren't they? Okay, so I want to just kind of crease them nicely. And then we're going to open it up again, and we are going to fold the sides in to the halfway point. So basically we're just folding it in half again to put it into quarters. You want to make sure it's nicely lined up before you crease it. So usually I hold it at the crease, and then I'm just going to slide my thumb across to the middle here. That's going to keep the paper from moving, and then go across like that. That's a nice way to do it without making your fold go wonky. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. There we go. So I'm just going to slide across and then over, and voila. Okay, so we have our paper folded. You can see all those edges there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, hamburger style again, and I'm going to grab a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to cut right here. So this fold up to the intersection of the next fold. So if you can kind of see the edge here, I'm going to stop right at this intersection. So I'm going to line my scissors up with that fold and just cut straight across. So now we have kind of like a little opening here. If we open it all the way, we have kind of a little mouth. So it says, "Hello, I'm a book." Okay, wow. It's something right now. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to fold the paper, hot dog style. Then we're going to hold it up here at the edges, and we're going to smoosh. Here we go. And that's going to give us kind of this little plus sign. All the folds come together. Then we're just going to wrap the edges around themselves like so. So now we have this nice little book. So this is the simple way to do it. Step one, that's it. You could take it from here. You could draw on your separate pages and do your thing. But there are other ways. You could use this as a template to make your life easier if you need to mass produce little zines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a template. So I'm going to just write my page numbers on here. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I sing to myself when I do things. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so I have them all numbered for my pages. Now I'm going to take this apart, and now I have the list of where all of my page numbers go. So what I can do is take a new sheet of paper and fold it, and then I know exactly, this is page 1, 2, 3, and I can figure that all out here and draw my pictures on the paper before I do the cuts and everything. Then I can photocopy it and make a whole bunch. So that's pretty cool. Another thing we can do is spice this up a little bit, make it a little more exciting, and give it a cover. So I'm going to smush it back together again. Once you do it the first time, it gets a lot easier. And I have this paper right here, just a random thing I made. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a quick little cover. So I am going to open up my booklet like this. and I'm going to lay it on top of this. And I want my cover to kind of be a little bit larger than my book. So I'm just going to cut my page just a little bit wider. But one thing is this is handmade paper, so the edges of it are what we call deckled. So they're not precise, they're not even, they're pretty natural looking. And I want to continue that throughout. So instead of cutting it with an X-Acto knife, I'm actually going to tear the paper with a ruler. So what I am going to do is flip this over like so. I'm going to line up my paper how I want it, and I'm just going to make some marks as to where I want my tear to be. Obviously, you could use a ruler if you want. I'm decent at eyeballing things, so I'll start with that, and then I'm going to grab my ruler. All right, so when you are tearing your paper, I have a cork-backed ruler, which is really, really helpful because it keeps your paper from slipping so much. If you don't have that, obviously any sort of like stiff, straight edge can work. For example, I frequently use just like strips of plexiglass to tear stuff if I don't have a ruler handy. Obviously not everyone has this handy either, but it's helpful. So the main thing when you're tearing your paper is you want to firmly press down on it because you don't want anything slipping. My little mat here has a little extra grip than my table does, so that's also helpful, but you really want to press hard. So you don't want to just like hold your ruler right here. You want to spread your hand across it like this. And I'm going to start with my hand up here where I'm going to start tearing, and I'm going to slowly scooch my hand down as I tear. So my paper's pretty thick. Oh boy. You can tell it's handmade. There's some fibers in there that don't want to go away. There we go. All right. So that leaves me with kind of a more natural edge. You can tell there were some threads in there. That's why it's hard to tear. Okay. All right, so I'm going to tear the other side now. Same thing. I want to press down really firmly and yank this across. Here we go. Oh boy, that was labor intensive. Okay, so now I have my nice little section of paper. Oh, isn't that so cute? Okay, I'm going to flip it over now, and I am going to line up my paper right in the middle here. And I'm going to just make a mark where my fold is in the middle. So here we have our fold. I'm going to draw a little line here even to make it more obvious. There we go. Now, I am going to do something to help make this fold a little more easily because this paper is pretty thick. So if I tried to fold it, it's going to like make a bunch of creases on it and it's not going to look that great. So I want to make sure that I'm doing it cleanly. What I'm really just looking for is something that is hard and has kind of almost a pointed edge. So I have that. I also have a mechanical pencil with the lead push down. So those both kind of have small little points that I can use to kind of engrave into the paper. It's going to create a fold for me. So I'm going to hold my ruler down right along the line here. And then I'm going to take the edge of this point and I'm just going to press down firmly on the paper and drag it across my paper. And so I'm just kind of pressing into the paper. And that creates kind of like a place where the paper wants to fold. So it's going to fold a lot more cleanly when I do that, which is really convenient. That way it's not going to like want to crack the paper as I bend it. And I totally forgot I had charcoal on this, so I'm like getting my hands very dirty. Oopsie. Okay, so now I have this folded. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick my little booklet. We'll pretend I made some really cool art and put it in here. And I'm just going to slide it in here. And now all I have to do is staple it together in the middle. We're ready to attach the cover to the pages. So all you need is a stapler, and we want to make sure the stapler actually fits to the middle. Yes, it does. That's good. And usually we want the long part of the staple to be on the back side. So I need to flip it over to staple it, but the unfortunate thing here is I can't really see if my paper's lined up when I do that. So one easy way to make sure that everything is lined up the way you want is to use a binder clip, and you can just clip your paper in place, and just do that on both sides, and that will hold everything and keep it from moving for you. So now I can flip my paper over, and I'm going to slide my stapler in, and I want to line my stapler up with the crease of the fold, so that is right in the middle. And then I'll staple. To get the other side, I need to go or flip it around, and then we'll just line that up. All right, and we can take off the binder clips, and voila, our book is stapled together. We have a nice little booklet here. And if I really wanted to get exciting, I could cut these folded areas, and then I'd have even more pages. That's totally optional. So that's how you make a really simple sketchbook, or just tiny book in general. So what kind of ways would you use it? Thanks for watching, and keep creating.